Good day, Periscope.
Again. I just want you to say, imagine well, imagine beautiful. Beautiful days are not results of how people react to you or respond to you, but having a wonderful day is according to how you respond to you. So respond to you well. Begin to imagine beautifully, begin to think beautifully, begin to think wonderfully, and respond to it. Think wonderfully. Take the time out to think beautifully. Take the time out to know that you are an incredible specimen. Take the time out to know that you are a valuable specimen. This is not about psyching yourself out. It's about seeing yourself beautifully. Take the time out. That's right. Take the time out. Take the time to see yourself in a beautiful way. Take the time out to know that you are an incredible person, regardless of what people are not doing to you. People's response to you does not determine the value you are. People's lack of response to you doesn't determine the value of what you mean to the world. And I used to think that my value was the degree of reactions that I received from people. I used to think that my value was determined by how people reached out to me, called my name, and said that I was good. Let me tell you something. Flattery is one thing, but purpose is the greatest thing. People can flatter you and speak well of you, but it does not mean that you are incredible in their eyes. You feel me? You have to be incredible in your own eyes. So right now, begin to see and imagine how incredible you are in your own eyes. Do yourself, when you think of yourself, is there an inspiration to you? So imagine well, think well of yourself. Don't grow tired of thinking beautiful about yourself. Don't grow tired in thinking beautiful about yourself. Don't grow weary in that. If you grow weary in seeing yourself good, then there is not much good to say. Okay? So imagine well, do well, be powerful, live powerful. Know that you are worth it to you. Don't just psych yourself out with good words, but follow through. Whenever you imagine well, follow through. When you imagine well, your imagination will invite you to action. Does your imagination invite you to action? Whenever you think beautifully about yourself, the beauty of that thought will invite you to an activity of discipline and responsibility. Thinking beautiful does not make you procrastinative or lazy. Thinking beautiful will attract more responsibility to yourself. So when you think well of yourself, move into the action of that work. When you think beautifully of yourself, listen for an invitation to an action. Whenever you think beautiful about yourself, it's going to call you to do something. It's going to attract you to do something. It's going to attract you to write something. It's going to attract you to do something differently with your life. Don't make changes based on what someone else done to you. Don't make changes to make other people do things with you. Sometimes we make changes in order for other people to join us and do something with us. Never make a change for somebody else to react to. Whatever changes you make them because you see yourself beautifully, not so somebody else can smile. You know, sometimes we can do things and imagine the reaction of other people when we give them a surprise, especially when it's Christmas or their birthday. You imagine them responding to a present of yours. You buy a gift out of the motivation of a response that you've imagined they would have as a result of being surprised by you. And when they don't give you that reaction, you could feel bad because you bought a reaction. Don't change for a reaction of somebody else. Imagine well. Do well because it's you. It's about time to have your own in-body experience with God. It's about time that you have your own experience with God based on what's happening in your own self. Because sometimes the experiences with God that we have are based with other people. The pains we have are from other people. The revelation we have are from other people. But we don't have a lot of in-body relationships with God. So it's time to have an in your own body relationship with God, which means this imagination and creativity you're having is based on what's going on in you and not according to what you're hearing from someone else, but an in-body. I appreciate you, but an in-body experience. It's not what I say or anybody say, but it's what happens within you. And if there's not a lot of good things happening within you, you're not going to enjoy living in you. And that's why we attach to other people, because all of the action is going on with them and not with us. So what kind of action is going on in you? Are you following a certain event that's going on in you? Imagine well. Are you following some sort of motivation or power that's going on in you? What are you following in you? What party is going on in you? What events are happening in you? What changes are happening in you? What conferences are happening in you? What educational modules are happening within you? What schools are happening within you that you are attending within you? Am I making sense? If I'm making sense, give me like 245 hearts. Just keep hitting it if I'm making sense. There you go. There you go. Come on. There you go. Let's keep on going. Just keep on. Just keep on. Let me see a red heart. Put a red heart out there. Yeah. Just put a blue. Put a silver heart out there. Yeah. But so that's what I'm saying. What's going on in you? It's about time that we have an in-body experience. This is what God is doing in me, not what God is doing in you, and I'm coattailing it. But this is what the Spirit of wisdom is doing in me. And it's making me excited and adventurous and disciplined and smart. It's making me pay attention. It's making me move away from excuses. It's causing me to live my authentic self. And it's keeping me from changing things around so you can like me. I'm living in myself. I like me. I love me. It says, love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. How many of you love yourself? How many of you love God so incredible that you love God just as incredible as you love yourself? Because you can't love God great and love you low. It's impossible to love God with everything you got, but still love yourself low. Because when you love God with everything you are, you love God with the same love. When you love God with everything you are, you love yourself with the same love that you love God. And so when you love yourself with the same love that you love God, you love yourself out of sickness, poverty, and disease. You love yourself out of a hole. You love yourself out of a prison. You love yourself out of every dark place. So imagine well. Go ahead. Touch yourself for a minute. I'm about to let you go. Imagine well. And allow your life to look like the love you have for God. Allow your outer life, because whatever fulfills you is seen by everybody else, and whatever is not fulfilling you is seen by people. So it says, let your light shine so that men may glorify your good works. Your light is your love. It's not just what you do, but let your love for yourself shine so that people will glorify that you have done a good work in yourself. When you let your light shine because you love yourself, it's infectious. Everybody may not like it, but everybody will be drawn to it. They will see it and they will glorify God. They will say something is awesome. They will feel an energy of self-love in you, and they will glorify your Father. Because a lot of people are doing good works, but they don't love yourself. They don't love themselves. So when you love yourself like you love God, a light will shine. When you love yourself like you love God, it will show. A fulfillment will show, and people will glorify God. They will say, this is a good work. They will look at you and give you the credit of being a good work that's established by God. The word says we are his workmanship, created in the Christ Jesus. We are good works. We are God's credit reference. When people see us, they know how good he can build. When people feel our energy, they know that he's a good builder. We are the reference of God's creative ability. When people feel our energy, they begin to trust God as a builder. You know, when there's someone who's contracting some work, they'll say, look at my work. This is my work. We're his poetry. That's right. When we are his work. So when people feel the energy, see, we might not all have the face and the body that everybody likes. We may not have the hair that everybody likes. We may not have the skin everybody likes. That's the issue. But everybody might not like it. But we are the energy that he creates. And when people feel us, they know God made this person. They feel the energy. We're the reference of God. And therefore, they want God to build them because they feel the energy in which you were built. When God created you, there was something he was thinking. Every one of us looks like how God thought of us when he made us. Everyone, there is an intention or a feeling that God had when he made you. And full happiness is when you connect with the feeling that God had when he made you. And you're living the feeling God had when he made you. And that begins to move because people can feel how God felt when he made you. Do you feel how God felt when he made you? How did God feel when he made you? Do you feel it? Imagine well. Imagine well. Do you feel it? Do you feel how God felt when he made you? Or do you think I'm just making up some cool words and that this isn't real? Do you feel that I'm just making up some wow, awesome spiritual philosophies, but this isn't real? See, when you have the God mind, you'll know that this is real. This is real. You don't have to fall prey to how life's reality is. This is real. This is very much real. Very much so. So imagine well. Love yourself like you love God. If you're loving God low, you're loving yourself low. Your life reacts to how you love God. Not how you love church and the Bible and prayer, but how you love the source that made you. How well you love the agreement that produced you. When you loved your assignment, not just your prophetic words or your apostolic words, but when you love why you were sent to the world, when you love the risk that God took making you, when you love the risk and the boldness that God had in his heart when he made you, when you love that he sent you for a reason, that he didn't send you alone, but you are who he is in skin. You are the reflection of God. You are God's in the earth. You allow God to live in this earth. He reproduced himself in so many ways and so many forms to be in this earth. And when you love that, and when you love him like that, your life looks like that. And it has that same confidence. It has that same confidence because you love something that we can't see. We are what it is. We are the seeing. As he is, so are we in this world. You are God's credit references. You determine God's workmanship and his skillsmanship. You are God's skill set. My wife Bridget says that a lot. I don't have that skill set. You are God's skill set. You and I reveal that God has skills. See, when we don't trust God, it means we don't believe in his skill set, which means we don't believe in us. See, when we don't believe in us, we don't believe in God's skill set. We are his skill. We are his ability. When we falter and when we feel less confident, it means we don't feel that he put us together properly. We feel that we're faulty. We feel that one of our arms are going to pop off. We feel that our eyeball is going to come off. We don't feel that everything is properly in its socket. Before I go, do you believe that everything you are is properly fastened and fit? Do you feel that everything is in its socket? Do you feel your eye gonna pop out? Do you feel he put me together, but this is not my right foot. This is not my right fingernail. Do you feel that he rigged you? I want to say the other word, but I'm not gonna say it. If you know what I'm talking about, just give me some hearts. Do you feel that he rigged you? You know what I want to say. Just give me let's throw a silver one in there. Throw a shovel in there too. Yeah. Do you feel that? He put you together well. Nothing's going to fall off. So you can trust him. Imagine well.